Rolling. Hi, everybody. So today we're looking at the gradient tool, gradient map tool. This is helpful for a number of things. One, just turning a simple black and white image into a colorized image, not necessarily a colorized image that is, for the most part, realistic, but more of a stylized color image. Two, it's a way to work with values that might be different from what you're used to with the other filters we've looked at, like the black and white filter, where we're looking at, let's see if I can pull it up here, when we're looking at using color filters as a way to designate value relationships. So if you remember from our class a couple of weeks ago, I only know the keyboard shortcuts, so I always get lost in this menu here, but it's right here. If we're using a blue filter versus a red filter, we get quite the drastic difference. Using the color gradient, we have a different layout. So if you click on this little ball here, we have a whole bunch of filters. Go down to gradient map, and right away it turns our image into a black and white layout. So right here we have a gradient. So that's a very subtle distribution of blacks to whites, right? We can see here. Once we get to our menu, when we double click this, it gives us two stops. So we can add more stops just by moving our finger around and clicking. But it's a little finicky. It's not the most intuitive filter, but I think you can get a better handle of it just sort of playing around with it yourself. So if we want to get rid of these, we can drag them to the left or right. We can add many of these, as many as we want, but I find just with most effects, less is more. Okay, so let's assign some color to our values. So he painted this in a sort of warmer color analogous tone, right? So colors that are close to each other in the wheel. So he's going from red, brown, and yellow. So let's see if we can mimic something of that. We'll give all the blacks here a red designation versus the whites will correspond to yellow. So let's see. So we get right away this very warm stylized image. We'll go for our complementary setup here. So I'm going to do this again. Pick red for our blacks and blue for our whites. We have more of a complementary setup. If we wanted to go full opposite complementary, we do yellow and red, and we get a really high dynamic image here. Dynamic as in it pops. There's extreme color separation between yellow and blue. So you can, really use this as a tool for ideation, playing around. As you can see, I'm working with values here, and you get really, really interesting sort of pseudo 70s type effects here. This reminds me of Good, the Bad, the Ugly, if you know Sergio Leone. So on their own, they can be interesting, but I also find it's really fun getting these unexpected results when you combine them together. You see this technique in early rotoscoping of Bashki, who did Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man in the 70s as well. Sort of quick and dirty rotoscoping, painting over with color rather than drawing frame by frame. Okay, so we have a tool for colorizing a black and white image. We have a tool for changing the values of a black and white image. Give it a shot, and I look forward to seeing some of your work.